From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A major cabinet reshuffle has been announced in Tasmanian politics, with Michael Ferguson stripped of the health portfolio. Sarah Courtney will take on the role, a fresh injection of leadership following months of anger about the state of our hospital system.
The Premier today announcing the end of Michael Ferguson's 5-year reign in the health portfolio.
So I do believe, and we agree as a group, that there is always the need for change and renewal, and that time is now. So Sarah Courtney will become the state's new Minister for Health.
The opposition welcoming Mr Ferguson's departure after moving a no-confidence motion in April.
There'll be a collective sigh of relief, because we know as Tasmanians that we need a health system that works for us, and right now this minister's not delivering.
With the Greens now questioning Ms Courtney's ability after being stood down from her previous portfolios last year amid a relationship scandal.
But I am concerned on her record that she's a consistent underperformer, and to give such an important portfolio to someone who yet hasn't proved themselves as a minister is concerning to us.
We understand that there's a lot more to do. The work underway is continuing, and Sarah is the right person to take on this job.
The now former Health Minister will take on state growth and infrastructure after losing the police, fire and emergency management portfolio to Mark Shelton. Elise Archer is set for Sarah Courtney's building and construction role, with a new mental health and wellbeing portfolio in the hands of Jeremy Rockcliffe. The Cabinet will also say goodbye to Jackie Petrusma, who is standing aside due to health concerns.
I believe that the people of Tasmania deserves to have in place a government that can deliver for them. So I believe that especially over the next few months, I'm best serving the people of Franklin.
The reshuffle has been welcomed by Rogue Speaker Sue Hickey, but with no cabinet position offered, she says her future as a Liberal member is looking hazy.
This is the second snub now by the Liberals to me for a cabinet position, and so I'm going to take a little time and think about my own position and what I bring to the role.
The new cabinet will be sworn in on Tuesday. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Specialists have contained a leaking gas cylinder as part of an investigation into a large warehouse fire in Newtown. Creek Road was blocked off this morning while authorities were at the scene. A blaze tore through the facility on Friday night, completely destroying the property as well as millions of dollars worth of caravans stored there. The cause is still yet to be determined. Another major fight is brewing in Tasmania over a cableway proposal, this time in Launceston. The $20 million skyway at Cataract Gorge was only announced 10 days ago, but it's already drawn fierce criticism.
On a soggy Sunday morning, a group of protesters gather at Launceston's most famous landmark.
I guess when I'm imagining it, I was thinking it was going to feel like it was going to fence us in.
They're vowing to put a stop to these plans. A $20 million bid for 24 new gondolas encircling the first basin. Opponents say there's a lack of information, as well as too many towers, and they've already made up their minds.
We're really urging the councillors to say no, that it's just not appropriate development for this council land, for this public space.
There's also concern from young people over the loss of privacy.
So the chairlift is much bigger than the current one we have here, so it's going to go all the way across heaps of the common spots where young people hang out over the rocks and have people in big glass bubbles looking down on you.
The developers, who also own the Gorge Scenic Chairlift, did not respond to requests for comment. The reaction from other residents is a little more supportive.
I think it's an exciting development and it'll be great for the tourists. I'll be pleased to see the plans a bit more clearly though.
I think it'd be good. We need more stuff, so people will come in.
I think it'd be awesome. I'd like it, but it depends. I don't know. Like, does it impact the gorge as much? Is it going to disturb the wildlife?
I think they're probably useful for people who aren't able to walk the gorge. They can sort of appreciate it from the gondolas.
With opinion already divided, it could be a bumpy ride ahead. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Turning to netball now, and Arrows and Devon clashed at the Hobart Netball and Sports Centre this afternoon in round 15 of the State League. The Arrows started strongly, leading by as many as 24 midway through the first quarter. They continued to extend that lead throughout the match, dominating their opponents on every part of the court. It was a 60-goal margin in the end, with the Arrows winning 93 goals to 32, keeping them in the top 2. And the Tasmanian Magpies have claimed bronze in the Australian Netball League series. The side defeated the Canberra Giants 59-50 to claim 3rd place. To basketball now, and both Hobart sides won their NBL 1 clashes last night. 28 points from Jalen Adams helped the men to a 21-point win over the Melbourne Tigers, while a massive 36-point first term from the women secured a narrow victory.
Hobart needed a win to stay in finals contention. Jalen Adams getting off to a fast start.
Ladies and gentlemen, up he goes, bang!
They led by 16 at half-time. William Hickey tried to spark the Tigers, but they were never in the contest, with Hobart romping to a 21-point win. In the women's, a 36-point first quarter got the Huskies off to a flying start.
1 second, Schlott, long shot, she was fouled and won! Big three there by Jen Schlott.
Melbourne narrowed the margin by the final change, but Jen Schlott and Nikki Green scored crucial points later on to secure victory. In Launceston, a 60-27 opening half helped the Southern Huskies to a big win over Taranaki in their New Zealand NBL fixture. They showed no mercy to their undermanned opponents, dominating in offense and defense. Jalen Billups even found time to engage with the fans. Extending their lead at every change, they won 127-74. It was a rough night for Alex Peroni in the Austrian Formula 3 race. The Tassie prodigy spun out on lap 11 after a hit from behind.
Oh, that's reckless, and he'll be disappointed to see that one back.
He eventually recovered to finish 21st. It was also a day to forget for Daniel Watkins at the Canoe World Cup in Slovenia. He incurred 3 time penalties in his semi to miss out on the final, showing his displeasure moments after he finished. Better news for Launceston cyclist Josh Duffy. He won 2 sprint races at a meet in Pennsylvania, moving into 2nd place on the overall standings. And triathlete Jake Birtwistle was finished 10th in the World Triathlon Series event in Montreal. A strong time on the bike leg had him in contention, before finishing 43 seconds behind winner Yale Geens. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A hat-trick from Miles Barnard helped Devonport defeat South Hobart 4-1 in their NPL clash. Meanwhile, in other matches, Olympia remained second after a win over Launceston City. Kingborough defeated Glenorchy, and the Zebras had a last-ditch win over Riverside.
This was the two clubs' first meeting since South Hobart won a dramatic cup final last month. Jack Dance put the Strikers ahead in the 27th minute, but it was short-lived, with South Hobart levelling just minutes later thanks to a classy finish from Ben Hamlet. But the second half was dominated by Devonport, and in particular Miles Barnard. He opened his account in the 59th minute with a strong header, scoring in similar fashion again just minutes later.
And it's into the back of the net.
Barnard then scored with a tap-in in the 74th, completing his hat-trick and taking apart South Hobart in just 15 minutes. Second-placed Olympia are just focused on winning in order to keep the pressure on Devonport. Bay Kurtz put them in front in the 11th minute despite the desperation of the Launceston City goalkeeper. Joffrey Nakosa then doubled the lead in the second half, putting his body on the line in the process. However, he recovered well enough, scoring minutes later to seal the result and give Olympia a vital 3 points. Glenorchy started well against Kingborough, Callum Brown opening the scoring in just the 2nd minute, but from then on it was a nightmare. Gutierrez levelled in the 20th minute with a clinical finish inside the 18-yard box. Jack Turner then headed the lines in front on the hour mark, taking advantage of the free space. He and Gutierrez then each scored in injury time to complete a comfortable win. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
And after bringing you the story of young Isla Wells on Friday night, we're pleased to report the South Launceston women's footy team has raised more than $3,000 for the family. Isla was born with Apert syndrome and frequently has to travel to Melbourne to undergo life-saving surgery. The Bulldogs easily won their NTFAW clash against Bridgenorth by 62 points.
Welcome back. 12 degrees today in Hobart. Launceston, Burnie and Devonport all had a top of 13 degrees. Around Tasmania, 15 was the state's top at Friendly Beaches, 14 for King Island, 13 degrees for Smithton, Low Head, St Helens and Campania, 12 for Ouse and Strawn with 11 at Cressy and Scottsdale. On the charts, there is a low cloud band moving in from the west over Tasmania today. Further out shows a cold front and cloud band moving towards southwest of WA, the remainder pretty cloud free. Tomorrow, a cold front approaches the southwest of the state, the mainland almost entirely covered by a high pressure ridge. West to northwesterly winds 25 to 30 knots, reaching 35 to 40 about the west. Seas close to 3 metres, reaching 5 in the southwest. There is a gale warning for southern and western coastal waters, a strong wind warning for all remaining coastal waters and a small craft wind alert for the central and southwest lakes. And there's also a minor flood warning for the Mersey River. Late showers for Hobart tomorrow, 17 degrees, 15 for Dover, Ouse 16 with showers increasing. 14 in Launceston and Devonport, a few showers there with 12 at Scottsdale. Showers and windy conditions with 14 degrees for Burnie, Strawn and Stanley, with a few showers for St Helens, 15 degrees, 16 at Swansea and 13 expected for Ross. Showers contracting to the west and the far south on Tuesday. They will continue into Wednesday but pretty fine elsewhere, with a fine and sunny day after a frosty start on Thursday. Around Australia at your major centres now, 20 and showers in Perth, 15 and cloudy in Adelaide and Melbourne, 18 and sunny in Sydney, Brisbane 23 degrees with 32 and sunny for Darwin. And it's a clear evening in Hobart, 12 degrees, Launceston and Devonport 11. Back to you, Rach.
Wonderful. Thanks for that, Sam. That's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night.